All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 9x25 Dillon test. And that is a huge thank you to one of our viewers. He actually reached out and is letting us borrow this so we can get a few of these tests done. So thank you, Mr. Lee. We really appreciate you and for giving us the opportunity to test out this awesome caliber. And he did supply the ammo for us also. So we do have two different brands and rounds. We have Underwood and Doubletap. So for the Underwood, that one is the 124 grain XTP bullet. There's what that one looks like. It does have your standard brass case, and that one's rated at 1,700 feet per second. And for our Doubletap, that one is the 147 grain controlled expansion. That is just your basic Nosler bullet. That one has your nickel plated brass, and that one's rated at 1,495 feet per second. It does say that is out of a 6-inch barrel. So we'll be using Mr. Lee's Glock 40. That one does have that 6-inch 9x25 Dillon conversion barrel in it. And we'll be going through our gel. That is a 10% block. We do have our catch block behind that, so a total of 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of con t-shirt on the front, and like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head to head. First one up will be that 124 grain Underwood. All right, we're set back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1668, so that's not too bad. I believe rated was 17, so pretty close for that one. All right, so there is that entry. Looks like I got a really good hit on that. And check that cavity out. You can see right down in there, there's a huge star pattern going on. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, check that out. That is insane. That is a huge stretch going through that gel. Looks like it carried it pretty much the whole way, and it looks like we might have just barely made it into that second block. So let's see what kind of damage we got on this one. So like always, I will do our cross sections. We'll get a little bit more accurate measurement, but for now, we'll see how wide it is here. You're right at 3 3/4 inches. So that is a huge stretch. It does look like we do have a blowout here on the top as well. So ton of damage. So let's check it out from the side. And same thing from the side. Let's see. Hopefully you guys are picking that up. But pretty much as soon as that thing came in, it exploded in there. Dumped a ton of energy, probably that first 6 inches of that block. And you can see a ton of fragmentation going on. And like I said, pretty sure it's sitting right in between both those blocks. But man, that thing did a ton of damage on the way in. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the side. So at our widest spot, we were just about 3 1/4 inches. So not as much from the side than the top, but that is definitely a ton of damage. And let's see. Yeah, so it looks like that round barely made it out of that one. This is 11-inch block, and it looks like it barely scratched the surface on that second one. So it looks like it made it a total of 11 inches. So definitely not too bad. So let's set up for that 147 and see how that one does. All right, so what I had to do is actually flip the block completely around so that cavity is now coming towards us, because this one just took up so much of that block that I don't want them to collide whenever we shoot that next round. So this one's going to go into the opposite way. Hopefully we have enough where it doesn't collide too much with that one, but let's see how it does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. That one definitely felt a little bit more tame than that Underwood. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1342. So it looks like we got quite a bit less than advertised, but you know, it's still definitely not too bad. And lately, when I have been testing Underwood ammo in general, it does seem like they are, you know, usually pretty underloaded. I think I've only had one lately in the 357 SIG that's been pretty on par with the rated velocity. All right, and there is the entry for that one. Looks like you got another really good hit, and you can see right down that cavity as well. It looks like a pretty good star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, not too bad at all. So you can see quite a bit of damage going on. It looks like we were just shy of that other cavity. So definitely good to see. Looks like it carried that energy most of the way through, and this one actually did make it into that second block in a pretty good way. So awesome to see there. So let's check out our measurement here, our widest spot. So it looks like we are right at 3 inches on this one. I believe this one was 3 3/4, so quite a bit, and then 3, you know, so really good to see. So let's check it out from the side. And same thing from the side. So you can see pretty much exploded like the last one. There's quite a bit of fragmentation going on. You can see a couple of those petals shearing off. There's a couple towards the end also, and then you can see our round resting down that second block. So definitely quite a bit of damage there. So let's see our measurement here from the side. So it looks like at our widest spot, we are just over 2.5 inches. So definitely a lot less from the side than the top, but you know, still really good to see. And there that round is, it is facing forward. And at our leading edge, we are right at 4.5 inches. So that made it 15.5 inches of total penetration. So definitely pretty impressive. So let's check these tracks out one more time from the top. What I'm gonna do is actually flip the block over so we can get a little bit more clear view. All right, so I did flip this block over, and I know it might be a little bit, you know, confusing the way I'm doing it, but I did flip it over, and this path was the first one that we shot. So the second one is coming towards us. So there is that first one. It is that 124 grain XTP. Check that out, man. That is insane. It did a ton of damage. Pretty much exploded in there. Tons of fragmentation. And it did settle down pretty quickly because I guess it did dump a lot of the energy there at the beginning of that block. And we did not make it into the second one, but we did make it out that first one, but just barely. And then this one that was going towards us is that Underwood. Same thing there, came in, exploded. You can see all those fragments going through. Pretty big channel. That one did settle down just a little bit towards the end, and then we did make it into that second block. So quite a bit of penetration. So let's pull these rounds and see what they look like. All right, check these things out. Looks like they both got some awesome expansion. So the one on the right is that Underwood, one on the left is that Nosler. So check out that Underwood first. You can see we got some really nice mushrooming on that. That pretty much exploded when it did go in, so we don't have as much weight retention. But man, that thing definitely did a ton of damage. You can see all those petals kind of folded over the base. And like I said, there was quite a bit of lead that thing did shear off. There's one petal kind of kicked out, looking like a little comet going through, but man, that thing definitely dumped a ton of energy in that block. It was moving out pretty good too. And here is that double tap. Same thing with this one. Got some really nice mushrooming. This one seemed like it held together a little bit more. I guess it did shear the petals off, but not as much lead. And kind of the same thing. It has that little comet looking tail for those petals. It does look like pretty much they all came off except for that one, but that's some pretty major expansion. That one we didn't hit, you know, rated, but still not too bad for what it did. So we'll check them out one time from the bottom. So the one on the right is that Underwood, one on the left is that double tap. And last time from the top. So like always, we'll do our still shots and slow-mo and all that good stuff here at the end. But not too bad at all. So there we go, guys. That one was 9x25 Dillon Underwood versus double tap. So once again, thank you, Mr. Lee, for letting us borrow your setup so we can get these tests done. As always, thank you for watching, guys. All right, so there's that cross section for that Underwood. As you can see, we have some huge splits going in, quite a bit of fragmentation, but definitely some nasty looking stuff. Same on this side. You can see right down in there, and man, those are some crazy splits. So I did remeasure these. They're peaking right at about 4 1/4 and averaging right at about 4 inches. So definitely very impressive for that. So I'm going to light these up a little bit just so you guys can see what's really going on. But man, that is definitely a nasty path going through. Same on this side. Looks like a rifle round came in there and just pretty much exploded. And that one was moving out at 1,700 feet per second, so Very impressive. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, probably about the 8th to 16th of an inch mark, like literally as soon as it entered, it came in here and just exploded. You can see a little bit of fabric and quite a few fragments going on, but man, check that out. That thing is just tearing this gel up. Got some pretty nice splits right there, pretty deep, but you could see that path, that channel going all the way through. But that is some nasty stuff for sure. Really jumbled this gel up. So same on the top, came in, immediate expansion. Once again, you can see that path, and man, check that out. A lot more fragmentation on this side, a little bit more fabric. And once again, some huge splits. That is definitely one nasty round for sure. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna end up picking up a Dillon barrel for the 29 so we can you know, see how it does out of a little bit shorter barrel. But you know, it's very impressive stuff. So there we go. That one was that 124 grain XTP loaded by Underwood. All right, so here's that double tap cross section. This one has some pretty nice splits also. Nice star pattern going in there. It looks like there's a little bit of fragmentation in there. And same on this other side. You can see right down in that cavity. And I did remeasure this. We are peaking right at 3 1/4 and averaging about 3 inches. So definitely not as much as that first one, but you know, still very impressive. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, right at that 1/4 inch mark, started to open up. You can see that channel going all the way through. There is a couple copper petals sitting in there. And this one did quite a bit of damage also. We got some nice big splitting, really big tears. It doesn't look like there's any fabric in this one. But man, it definitely did a lot of damage for sure. Those are some very deep cuts. So same on this top side came in, started to parachute open. You see that path, and once again, really awesome channel going through. It looks like there's a little bit of fabric on this side, but you know, some nice cutting going on, nice tearing. That one I believe was quite a bit less than advertised velocity. You know, still close to 1400 feet per second, still very good. So not too bad at all. So that one was at 147 grain double tap.